In part one of making a comic for Manchester Museum, I showed my whole thinking process, how the story came about, how I laid it out to fit the very limited number of pages. If you want to see that first, click the link. Since the first penciling out video, then I've had some remarks and suggestions back, and around here this is going to change slightly. So it's not going to be a fridge there. We're going to have Kat here, who I've been working with at the museum, handing out ice creams to the penguins because we think it's the wrong kind of message, having a fridge burning away electricity while we're trying to save the planet. So what I've done is I have scanned in the pencil sketch and I've put this into InDesign. I put that on the back layer to give me a rough idea of what's going on. And now the other thing that has been said is they want to make absolutely sure that the text is readable. Whether I was going to do that by hand or not, but I'm going to make this really, really readable. I'm using a typeface called Century Gothic, which is nice and easy, clear and easy to read. Then I will print this out without the image on the background and work on the top again. I've got various presets here, and the basic paragraph style is going to be the speech bubble. So I'm going to write, "This will cool you down." And then I can just kind of move that into position and just nudge it. I'm just going to move that, and I'm going to slightly rotate that there, and then I'm going to have a goo or something like that. Cool. I can't even read my own writing. So we'll have this penguin saying cool. Just rotate that slightly the other way there. So to be able to print this out on my, this is an A3 poster thing, and to be able to print this out on A4, I've had to export the whole thing as a PDF where I could then print it how I wanted. So now I've got these bits here, and here I have drawn out sheets. So we've got 2 on each sheet of A4. So if you can just see the pencil marks. And I'm going to get my light table, and I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put that there. And I'll probably turn off these main lights because I can't see what's happening. I've made a template here, and I've used my compass to poke little holes in to the corners so that I know I can draw the next one easily. And I can see little holes coming through to know that it fits just snugly like that. And I want these speech bubbles across the middle, so I'm just going to do that like that. I can alter an awful lot on the computer, move text around and do all sorts of things, but I need to get these to know exactly where the speech is going to be able to put the speech bubbles in. And then that's going to be here, and then we want a little few down there. I think that's going to be too big, so I'm going to make the lettering a bit smaller to fit that in. And then we want this whole thing going along the bottom like that. And now I'm going to draw in these and we'll want the sun over here, and then I'm going to draw in these penguins. And then we want this kind of body coming around like that, and then we'll see that other one there. And then we'll give them little feet. And we're trying to give them expressions as well as I'm going along. And to make them all sort of individuals as well. So this one's going to be a bit thinner. Now this one is nearest to me, so I'm going to draw that one first. And in fact I want him kind of coming in a bit more, because I've already put that speech bubble there, and I will need to kind of make that fit. And then this one needs to come over a bit more as well. So I'm going to, whereas this is black text at the moment, I'm thinking I'm going to have a colour underneath there, a solid colour, and bring that lettering in white at the bottom just to make it all a bit more interesting. We want big drips coming off there. So it's floating in the ocean, and then we need the ocean in the backdrop there. In fact, I'm going to allow myself to go slightly over, because these little pictures are going to be in their own kind of boxes, and I'll put a mechanical tint, as I used to call it in the old days, in the background. Just a solid, drop in a solid colour. So we need some more waves. If you want to see how I painted this, go and see my other video, how to use water brushes, in which I use mud and water brushes to paint the whole of the cover. Okay, this is the basic scan. I've got it in color and my output resolution is 300 dots per inch, which is your standard kind of size you're going to want for printing. My image adjustment is photo, and I'm going to bring up my histogram here to see what is going on. And I am going to see, this is all white here at this end, and there's a lot of white, but I want it to be white. So I'm going to take this down to about 204, something like that. And here, this is black, and so this is a whole lot of kind of stuff that's being wasted. So I'm going to bring that up to about there. You can see that immediately darkens up the scan. So we're getting the full range of available colors. I brought the white up at this end to get rid of any grey mess that the paper is going to affect the white area. And I'm going to bring up my saturation as well. And I'm just going to bring that up 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that, just to up the saturation. I'm using a CanoScan Leader 220, which I think is really good. I've tried many scanners before, and this has been the best one that I've ever had. I'll put Amazon links to it in the box below. And here it is in Photoshop, and the first thing I'm going to do is go right in and examine the white. And you can see I managed to get rid of all the kind of grey mess that's in the paper, or at least most of it anyway. It means I can dip in here and just kind of paint away some of the rubbish. You know, if there are any bits of dirt around the place, and grit, grain, stuff like that, I'm just going to clean up these little bits. Now here the paint has gone over, so I'm just going to kind of tidy that bit up there. And now I'm just kind of hunting around looking for mistakes now, things that have not kind of quite gone right. So I could just clean that bit up there. You may remember I pointed out this bit here where I'd gone over, but I can just erase that. Just makes me feel a bit better. And also here, you may remember, I'm going to get this clone stamp, and I'm going to click there, and I'm just going to paint that bit out there, and then here, oh, I need to clone that there, and I need a sharper line, I think. So you may remember, oh, I need a smaller brush. So here you may remember I painted over where I shouldn't have done, and this is kind of repeating a pattern of a little dot, which is not good. So you want to keep kind of swapping all the time where you're taking your colour from, so that you don't get this endlessly repeating pattern. And there we go, that's much better, and we can do a little bit, get rid of that. Now you may remember here that I started painting this a bit reddish, whereas in fact it should have been the kind of ochre colour, and so we want to get select. So I've taken the red out of that, and then I'm just going to kind of sort that bit out there, and I think I'm happy. There's just one major thing. I'm going to bring a ruler right down here, and what I want to do is just to level this up. So now I can bring this into here. Okay, luckily the one above is transparent, so I can fit that in exactly perfectly. I can now bring that down to that line there. Incidentally, you might have noticed that they asked me to change the typeface to Comic Sans to make it more comic-y, but there you go. You can see that is all in place and ready to go. Now to get on with the rest of it. Thanks for watching, and you can support this channel and get so much more on my Patreon page. Click to find out more. Make sure you are subscribed to the Shoo Rayner Drawing Channel on YouTube, and in the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now, bye bye.